The following presentation was recorded live in Los Angeles, California for the 24th Annual Convention for the International Association of Square Dance Callers. This is Tape 9, Standard Choreo versus Extended Applications Mainstream.
How many people have a book like this? Raise your hand. Standard Applications Basic Mainstream book. How many again? All right, how many do not? I suggest if you do not, you go purchase one as soon as possible and read it. A lot of good stuff in here. It really is, especially for new callers. I want you to understand that was the reason this book was made. It wasn't made to be a level. It ended up that it's pretty close to the way we call. That was the ironic thing about it. But that was not its purpose. Its purpose was to help new callers, or any of us as far as that goes, that if you're going up to a higher level of dancing, if you're going from basic to mainstream, which ways can you look at getting the most success out of calls? And that was why they made this book available for new callers to see what is standard application to the calls. From talking with a lot of people, they have a misconception about it as well. I talked to somebody in the hall just a while ago, and they said, you know, I'm not for this standard application thing. And I said, what's your problem with it? He said, well, because I like to do scoot back with the boy and the girl going in. And I thought, well, okay. You don't understand what standard application means? Yeah, standard application means the boy going in all the time. See how he's so wrong, which tells me he hasn't read the book. So number one thing, we want to read the book. What we want to do today is just pick calls at random. There's a few calls that we've made notes of that we're going to do as we go through this. We're going to show all the variations of standard application to the calls. And then we're going to take and see how many different ways we can do it and apply extended application to the same call. We were talking about scoot back. Let's just read what it says first, okay? If everybody brought their book with them, you can read it.
Page 132 in your hymnal?
Yes. Okay, let's find it here. Page 15, all right. I'm on 15. I don't see it.
63.
Got it. Okay, here we go. It says, from parallel right-hand waves. Okay? Number one arrangement or number two arrangement, same sexes facing in and out. All right? Now that's what it says. So now, would you interpret that as what? Mr. Oxendine?
I would interpret that as from a typical setup. Oh, got a mic. Where'd our cordless mic go? What it's saying there is from a typical setup one of two ways. From standard boxes, touch a quarter from there, or from standard boxes, touch a quarter and split circulate, doing the call from there so that same sexes are going in together. It doesn't say boys, it doesn't say girls, it just says same sexes based on that statement.
Mm-hmm. Now, that's pretty easy to figure out, isn't it? However, it says the formations, parallel right-hand waves, ocean waves. What they're doing here is giving you suggestions. Now, the comments on it, there are none. You know, if you take a half tag call, it's got the same thing, all arrangements for tag the line. So we're not as limited as what we're trying to get the point across as some people may think. You're going to have a lot of choreography to use standard application. Taking a look at that, let's just get a square of dancers up. And we're going to take a look at those two calls since they're right together. They're just as good as any. And after we do this, I want you guys to pick some calls that you want to see have standard and extended applied, okay? Tiger square, all right. Okay, for standard application, let's have the heads pair off, face your corner, okay? Touch a quarter. This is one version, split circulate. And this is the other version, all right? You can still do a lot of things with these two scoop backs. Boys trade. Touch a quarter. We can still do it from here. Same sex is doing it. Scoot back. We don't need to triple scoot. And you know what? I don't care if that's what the dancers do. That's fine with me as well. Split circulate. And scoot back. So right there, all we did was change the formation. We still got waves, and that's all it says. And these are waves. They're just mini waves. All right? Everybody hinge. Fan the top. All right. Now the caller has learned that's probably, you know, right there he would have to work a little bit at calling from a column. He's got to help the dancers just a little bit. Everybody hinge a quarter. That puts us back to where now we got the same sexes looking at it again. We can go back and do it from here. If you wanted to start into some extended applications of the call, one of the first things you would do for standard. Okay, we can do that first. Everybody hinge a quarter. And the girls sashay across nose to nose for me. Okay? Just slide nose to nose, girls. Thank you very much. Here's another standard application. Girls scoot back. That's a right hand box. Okay? Boys cross run. Boys scoot back. That would be standard application. Girls cross run. I don't know. We'll look that one up. Somebody mark that one down. All right. Bend the line. Pass the ocean. Now, by this book, it says that this would be extended application. We've mixed the sex up. I think you could probably get by with this at a dance with very, very little presentation skills, really. I mean, if you can tell the boy and the girl to, hey, you know, point over there at each other, you're the scooters. So it is a fine line, and I don't think we have to walk it verbatim either. Scoot back. However, this call can get hard in a hurry. Boys cross run. All right, now we're getting into some left-handed stuff, and it becomes difficult. You have to have a lot more presentation skills to work out of left-hand waves on a lot of this stuff. You've got to help them a little bit. If you want to make the as easy as you can, let's do a left hinge a quarter. And now I can cue them a little bit easier now. Boys going with the left, girls you're folding left, scoot back. Then you can come back to the centers for a normal scoot back. Centers scoot back, now back to a standard application. All right, the boy and girl looking in point at each other now. You're going to use your left hand. If you're looking out, you're going left, scoot back. Just the centers scoot back, another standard application for them. Boys trade, reverse flutter. All right, let's just take a look at some half tags, and we'll do our tag the lines as well. Let's read what it says first. Tag the line, right hand, parallel right hand, two-face lines. You can tag from all arrangements, it says. Out-facing lines, it says you can tag from all arrangements. Parallel right hand, two-face lines, you can half tag all arrangements. Here's the comments on both of them. For those of you without books, the comments say, this call is probably called most often from 0, normal, boy, girl, parallel right hand, two-face lines. Star through. Veer left. And that's what the formation they're talking about there. On half tag, it says this call is probably called most often from this same arrangement. However, it just gets over here done telling us they can pretty much do all arrangements. They can do a lot more than this. It's not that difficult. Tag the line. Girls do a U-turn back. Star through. All right. Half tag the line. These are your most simple versions. All right, scoot back. We all know that that really gets overplayed because it's great in singing calls, though. It is. We do a lot of half tags, scoot back, boy run. Everybody knows those type figures, and that's good. That's all right. But, in your hash, maybe you want to pick it up a notch with them. Maybe you want to experiment with a few things, see if you can get them through it. Work on presentation skills. Hinge a quarter. Girls trade. Girls run. Half tag. Boys run. Pass through. Tag the line. Face out. Tag the line. Face in. Half tag. Yeah, it's a terrible call, isn't it? Centers run. All right, let's get into some variations, maybe a little extended application on this. Half tag. That's pretty standard. I mean, they're going to do that for you. Sets you in a nice way with the boys in the middle. So many times we always half tag to a scoop back to a boy run. And that's where it gets called 90% of the time. I know, because when I call it any other way, they have trouble unless I help them. And the more I help them, the more enjoyable the dance becomes. Not so redundant. Boys, scoot back. Little extended application there. Now, see, I'd already worked that, so I was betting that they would have remembered it. Or I would have cued them a little bit more. Boys, maybe we better practice that again now. The boy looking out's going left. Boys looking in, point at each other. Use your left hand. Scoot back, boys. Get a girl by the right. Say, hello, darling. All right. Boys, I want you to do half of a scoot back. Cool. Now they got it. And I didn't even have to cue them. Do a left half tag.
Left. You guys.
Everybody do half of a scoot back. Psst. Psst. That's right. I'm glad I'm not dancing this stuff, I'll tell you that. Half tag. And girls, and if you're with a group that's never seen this, just tell the girl looking in, all you're going to do is extend and hinge. And the girl looking out is going to just quarter left and stand right beside the girl coming across from the other side. Girls, half scoot back. Girls, left half tag. It's a nice call. Sets you up in ocean waves. You can come in and out of it real nice. Swing through. I have no idea where you all started. Yellow rocker. All right, give yourself a nice hand. Let's get another square. You guys have been up for a long time. I'll let Tony do one, and I'll take a break here for a minute.
That's better than the entertainment. I think tonight we're going to have some Chinese dancers tonight, but I think maybe we'll just cancel these guys and perhaps have y'all do a demo for us. What you're beginning to notice is that what we at first think is standard applications is actually a little bit more than that. Now, the whole concept is that you want to work, ideally, starting at standard and working up to more into the extended formations. If I could get a whole new square up.
They weren't that bad. Come on.
Always do what you want to do. Okay. We need a lady. Thank you. Okay. Now let's take the call. We're going to look at the call split circulate. Okay. Let's take the call split circulate and let's first look at it based on our standard application guideline. Our standard application says that split circulate is done from parallel right-handed ocean waves. Now that's the formation. The arrangement is number 1 or number 2. Same sexes facing in or out. What that means is this. Let's have the head step in, face your corner. And also now, a lot of this stuff, I heard somebody say, when Jerry did something because we're not worrying so much about body flow, just we're trying to get the people in and out of figures. So if one of us says start through veer left, don't worry about it. It's a whole other session. I think it dances. But I think start through veer right dances. Just as easy for the boy as it is the girl. Touch a quarter. Okay, now, all right, now what do we have? We have parallel right-handed ocean waves. And I have all of the boys facing in. Now, so our split circulate naturally. We have the dancer facing in, steps forward, the dancer facing out, turns the corner. Split circulate. Now we're still in our same standard formation. Just now the girls are facing in. Split circulate. Absolutely perfect. Hinge and the boy trade. Boy run around the girl. Couple circulate. Bend the line. Touch a quarter. If I wanted to call split circulate from here, am I calling it from a standard based on the standard applications book? Is this a standard formation? Let me read again. The formation for split circulate is parallel right hand ocean waves. Okay? Let me stress again to you that we said parallel right-handed ocean waves. So this... Let me start again. Let's have the girls do a U-turn back for me, and everybody touch a quarter. Now what we have here are parallel right-handed ocean waves. We have two of them, which means waves. Okay? Okay, now, that is our standard, this is our standard formation. All right. Scoot back. Another standard formation. Boy run around the girl. Now we have lines of four. Touch a quarter. We are now in something that is non-standard. Okay? But, now, this is almost standard. Because this is so easy. Because they can see their boxes of four. That's important. Okay? In each box of four. Now, we're expanding this thing a little bit. In each box of four, split circulate. Perfect. Each box of four, split circulate. And I heard this guy this morning call the neatest call from here. And he said, in your little line, bend the line. Did you guys see that today when he was calling? I thought that was so neat. I'd never thought of that. I'm going to use it. And I won't tell anybody that it was his idea. Now, we've expanded on it just a little bit. Now, here's where it gets real technical, because split circulate can be a bear. So you got to be real careful about where you take it next. Everybody pass through. Now, is a tag the line from here standard? Sure it is. Tag the line. Face in. Pass the ocean. Now, I have parallel right-handed ocean waves. Can I do, would the call split circulate from here be considered standard? All right, let me read the arrangement. Now, the formation fits the criteria. The arrangement says same sexes facing in or out. So this would not be standard because we have mixed sexes going in. Now, here's where you as a caller have to sit down with not only this book, but with the CALLERLAB definition book, so that you, in fact, know more than the people that you're out there talking to. And it's one thing to know the definition of the call. It's another thing to be able to explain the definition of the call so that the people can do it. Your whole point is you want to make the people do it. After explaining to people the correct definition of the call, I like to help them with split circulate by telling them this. If you're facing in, you can see a body part. If you're facing in, you never change walls when you do your circulate. It's always straight ahead. If you're facing out, you're always going to wind up facing the wall behind you. And you will always do what feels like a partner trade. May not be a partner trade, but it's going to feel like a partner trade. So let's look at the boy's action here and pretend for a second if this girl beside him was facing the same direction and I had the boy with the girl beside of you partner trade. Watch his body flow. In each box of four, notice I helped them, split circulate. See his body flow? It's the exact same motion as a partner trade. Each box of 4, split circulate. Perfect. Hinge. Now we're back in a standard formation. Can I have the center box of 4 split circulate? No, I cannot. It is not a split. It is a box circulate. Center 4, box circulate. Everybody swing through. Boy run around the girl. Reverse flutter thing. To a Dixie style. Now we showed them right-handed. Let's play with it left-handed. Boys trade. Left hinge. Now, we have fulfilled one of the criteria for standard formations here. We have same sexes facing in or out. So we fulfilled the arrangement portion. Where we have gone away from standard now, okay, is the formation. We have a left-handed ocean wave. That's not standard. Same rule applies, okay? In-facing dancer's going in. The out-facing dancer's going to do what feels like a partner trade. He's going to wind up facing the one behind him. Split circulate. Hinge. Boys trade. Each box. Split circulate. Twice. Chain down the line. And we have lines of 4. Each box. Split circulate. Not bad. Not bad. Each box, split circulate. Once and a half. Now, everybody back up a second. Can you see the logic in that? It's really a technical, it's being very technical called split circulate from here because it's the equivalent of a pass-through, but it fulfills the criteria. Let me show you something neat. Put your thinking caps on and everybody split circulate once and a half. And what is that called? That's called pass the ocean, essentially. Perfect. Hinge. Girls turn around. Now we're getting away from standard, and we're getting tough, so you better know your P's and Q's. What about this? Everybody pass through. Wheel and deal. Centers turn around. Not bad. Everybody pass through and face your partner. Pass through, wheel and deal. Double pass through. Boys, turn your back on each other. Okay, now, do we have a box of 4? Okay, we can do the call if we have 2 boxes of 4. Who's facing out? Boys, your call is going to feel like what? Partner trade. You're going to wind up facing which wall? Perfect. Standing where the girls are. Girls, you're facing in. You're going to step forward. Each box, split circulate. Perfect. Boys pass the ocean and the girls trade. Now, can you see how far you can extend these things? Boys extend to a girl. Boy run around a girl. Every boy point at your original partner. Give her a swing. Rest. We'll get another square up. Yo, baby. Okay, now, what we'd like to do now is have you guys, since obviously we prepared that stuff. And honest to goodness, I can speak for both of us because we work so much together, but this is material that Jerry and I both routinely work at a dance, at a workshop, pretty much at a workshop atmosphere. Scoot back is a call that, rather than workshop relay your wing ding, okay, or, you know, a brand new call, flip your widget, we'll take a call that they already know, recycle, scoot back, split circulate, and at a workshop for plus dancers, we'll workshop this so that we can integrate it in the evening program. And you would not believe how much it helps your dance when you can get people to doing some of this stuff. With that in mind, now we'd like you guys just to, if you have a mainstream list, pick one, and then we'll take the standard applications book and we'll go through it, and let's see what we can come up with as a unit.
Pick one, anyone.
Any call.
Lead right, lead left. All right.
All right, lead right. Hang on.
Zoom is next. Hold on.
All right, first let's do lead right. Somebody found it in the book now. All right, that's beer. Never mind. Hang on, we got to find it in the book first. Yes.
Lead right. Page 5.
We got a question. We have a question. We need you to use a mic, or I'll repeat your question. We had them in a column. Yes, sir. Yes. That was. Well, no, that was a gimmick. And I said that was a gimmick because the guy did it this morning with the kid dancers. Yeah, I stole that from the 9-year-olds today. I think that's just I was saying that I thought that was cute. And it's one of those things, you're right, not legal, but the dancers did it. Yeah, and they got a kick out of it. That's the whole point. I worry a lot less about being legal than perhaps some callers, because I'd rather dancers have fun, and if they fudge or I fudge, I frankly don't care. As long as the dancers win, if I call do-si-do and they want to do 2 backflips and a twirl, jump on it. Did you find lead right?
Yeah.
All right, let's read lead right. All right. Well, first we need a square. Can we get volunteers? They're going to wind up making me and you dance. You know that, don't you? Okay, we need a square. Oh, this one's actually going to be an easy one.
Pretty easy.
Pretty darn easy. All right.
The extended's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah. Yes, yes. Okay. All righty. It says that our starting formation is a static square. Okay? The arrangement is a boy, girl, boy, girl. Boy, girl, boy, girl. And then there's a notation under comments that says this call is most often directed to either heads or sides. So with that in mind, where would we go from here? No, now first we want to look at the standard way. So we would say either heads or sides. Heads, lead right. Yay! Rotten left through. Veer left, half circulate. Bend the line, your turn.
Thank you very much. Sides lead right. Right and left through. Veer left, half circulate, bend the line. Cool. All right, heads. That's it. I mean, that's as much.
Yeah, that's it.
That's pretty much it. Now there's a lot to expand on. Lead right's a fun call. You can do it a lot of different places. Heads lead right. Everybody lead right. Twice. Finish a Ferris wheel. Center swing through. Turn through. Left turn through. Center's turn through. Everybody cloverleaf. Center's face in, back out. Hallelujah. All right. So those are just a couple of things you can do with it. And you can use the same stuff with left. So that's it, pretty much.
But look at what he did. Can I borrow the mic?
Yep.
Not cordless mic. It's right here. It was there and it was gone. Oh, okay. We'll get one. Notice what he did on the first time. He changed what? Formation or arrangement. When he said heads lead right, do that. Okay? Now he called lead right again. What had he changed? He changed the formation. That made it non-standard by changing the formation. Okay, unlead right. Either. Let's have the head start through. You turn back. I don't care if it's smooth or not. Swing through. Swing through again, and the centers run. Ferris wheel. And the centers sweep. Now, what have we changed? Okay? We have a static square, which is the correct formation, but we've changed the arrangement. Changing the arrangement makes it non-standard now. And we've been leading right. We can also lead left. And that's something we might want to consider, guys. In our calling, we do so much right-hand dancing. It gets so boring. We don't ever go. You don't have to call left-handed calls. Just go the other direction. And it makes it a lot more interesting for the dancers. All the boys lead left. Veer right. Couples circulate. Ferris wheel. And the boys wheel around. Nice, boys. Nice. Everybody start through and square your sets however you want to. All right, that's lead right. I'm not trying to fix you.
Zoom? Somebody asked.
Yeah, we're going to do Zoom.
All right.
Zoom.
A question. Yes, sir.
On the mic. Randy Daugherty.
Question, it says static square, right? Boy, girl, boy, girl?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody sign Shay? Is this standard still by the definition of standard applications?
By the definition, where'd it go? No, where'd it go? You got it? I think it says normal.
Boy, girl, normal.
Boy, girl, normal.
Boy, girl,
Says normal.
Okay.
So yours would be non-standard. If you sashayed them, it would be non-standard because you changed the arrangement, not the formation.
if you really think about it, this paper reflects what we do. Because I've been to a lot of festivals, and I don't see lead right used any other way but what this paper says. Static square, heads lead right, circle to a line, or the sides lead right, circle to a line. And other than that, that's it. So I want you to take notice as we go through, because I've read this paper from inside out, and I really think it reflects reality. So let's pick another one. Zoom?
Well, we got a question here.
Yeah, this is Dennis Callan, Hemet, California.
Hi.
This is a gimmick. All 4 couples lead to the right. California twirl. You've rotated. It's cheap.
It's good.
All 4 couples lead to the left. Partner trade. You've unrotated.
Yeah, I don't want to do all this there.
All right.
We got a question. We got a question.
Okay.
Oh, here we are.
This is fun.
Yeah. You're supposed to run, Galen.
I'm Sam Scott from Newport, Oregon, and we see a lot in our area of they have a box formation, and then they'll circle 4, instead of leading to the right, and then it's kind of dubious with the dancers who breaks, whether normally the ones that are in the center break, but then a lot of times they don't, especially newer dancers. So I just wonder if that had any connection with this lead right deal.
I rarely use circle to a line that much. I mean, I use lead right a lot to start off a sequence with the heads or the sides, but a lot of times it goes to another call other than circle to a line. I really don't use the 2 in conjunction a lot, because I think it's presumptuous on the dancer's part. They're going to circle to a line, so anything that they presume, I'm not going to call it, so they don't presume it with me. I don't like them to anticipate me when I'm calling.
I have a comment on what he just said, but when we call lead to the right and circle to a line all the time, that becomes a standard application. The thing that you were doing, Tony, with the split circulate, I say it also depends on the call that you put prior to that. A couple of times you had the same sexes together in a wave, and you said swing through, and I say if you call split circulate after that, the percentages of the floor are going to go down even greater. But if you had a touch a quarter split circulate, the touch a quarter gives them the feel of way it's always done. So even having a standard application, you have to also use common sense, what you put forward and right after the call.
Absolutely. Yeah, don't give it to me. Okay.
Okay, we ready for Zoom? All right, here's what it says. The formation, a double pass through. Heads star through. The arrangements, all arrangements. Zoom. There's the most simple, I guess. Everybody half sachet. Zoom.
Still standard.
Still standard. Okay. Centers slide apart, the outsides squeeze in. All right. Pass through. Half tag. Everybody face the center of the set. Zoom. Still standard. Zoom. Great. Who you dancing with? Okay. Boys pass through. Star through. Now we get into non-standard. Thank you. Appreciate that. Who's she dancing with? Thank you. I got it. Boys zoom. Chain down the line. That's a great sequence. It really is. You have to help them first, but once you show the dancers that at a dance, you got a trick that you can use the rest of the night, and they'll do it for you. Star through. Veer left. Couple circulate. And to help them, tell the lead boy, make sure you zoom all the way back, 360 degrees. The trailing boy, you're going to circulate up. And even if he doesn't make it, even if he only goes 180 degrees, he's still going to get the chain down the line just fine. Boys zoom and chain down the line. Star through. I think so. If you're right. And you can do the same thing with the girls. Girls zoom. You know, you might want to see if they can. No. 360 degrees, girls. So you're facing the same wall you started. There you go. All right. Couple circulate. Lead girl, make sure when you do your zoom, you roll back 360 degrees. The trailing girl just circulates up to where she is. All right. Girls zoom. And the boys trade. And the couple circulate. Even if they don't do the 360 and they only go 180, just tell the boy to pick her up and take him with him and do couple circulate. You're going to pick the floor right back up. All right. Bend the line. Pass the ocean. All 8 circulate. Boys zoom. Girls trade. Recycle. Slide through. Pass through. Bend the line. Pass through. Wheel and deal. And the centers wheel around and unpair off. And here's Tony.
Now, notice what was happening there. He was changing at that time then, since the call zoom says all arrangements, the only thing he was changing each time was the formation. Since the normal formation said double pass through. Notice it didn't say starting or ending double pass through. So then it would be perfect to call head start through. Based on the book, you could call head start through. We could call zoom from here. Or we could do a double pass through. And what do we have here now? We have a completed double pass through rather than a starting. Zoom. And Jesse wouldn't turn around. Why would you want to turn around? Leaders trade. Okay, do you get the gist of what we're trying to do here? Because all we're doing is that old concept to make it work, you take a call and you expound upon it. And that's what we're doing. We're taking a call from a standard formation and moving it through. And these are by no means all the formations or all the arrangements or all the non-standard ways of doing a call. Now, there's probably zillions of others. Okay, this is just to get your idea rolling. Swing through. I forgot. Who you did? Were you dancing with Dee Dee? Boy Run. Ferris wheel. Give me something neat. Okay. Double pass through. Zoom. Yeah, give me a good one. Peel off. Peel off. No, this is mainstream. Can't do that. No, can't do peel off. This is mainstream. Oh, you're not doing me any good at all. Face in.
Slide through, centers go twice.
Slide through and the centers go twice. Okay. All right. If you guys aren't too tired, let's take one more call. Somebody pick a call. Oh, half sachet. Well, let's do half sachet first, okay? Slide through slide through half sachet, do-si-do. All right, we all know that there is a difference between half sachet and roll away. Now, saying that, why is it our dancers do roll away when I come into town and I call half sachet? And I've been in most of your towns. Consequently, it tells me either A, you don't know that there's a difference, or B, you ain't doing it. Figure, there ain't no C. There ain't no. You either is or you ain't. You either is doing it right or you ain't doing it right. There ain't no gray. There's a right and a wrong, and it's two different calls. Roll away a half sachet and half sachet are two different calls. Now, the first thing, like I said, the first thing you got to know how to do the call. Number one. Let's find half sachet in the book, Jerry. Here, find it in the book for me, and we'll talk about it a second. Let's have the heads lead right and circle to a line. Okay. Bless you, my child. Okay, now, somebody tell me, Larry Cole. Wait, never mind. You're not going to tell me yet. Okay. All right, here's the notes for half sachet. It says, the call half sachet is not called anywhere near as much as the call rollaway half sachet. This is in the book. And even when it is called, many dancers, if not actually most of them, will roll away anyway. At this time, at least, there are no standard or safe applications of the call half sachet.
What'd I tell you?
So, based on the standard applications book, if I were calling a standard applications dance, I could not call half sachet. I would. Because I think half sachet is a better call than rollaway because it's easier for the girls. I think perhaps if we'd have had female callers in the beginning, back when Moses first started, we wouldn't have call. We would have never had curlicue. We'd have never had box the nat. We'd have never had teacup chain. We'd have never had thars. It might have been Mayo instead of Moses. All right, even though there are no standard applications for half sachet, let's look at it just real briefly since one of our across-the-water neighbors wanted us to look at it. Half sachet winds up in the same position as a rollaway. The only difference is the person in the girl's position will slide in front of the person in the boy's position. He will slide in back of the girl in the girl's position, and you will wind up standing beside yourself. Now, with that in mind, girls, from a standard setup, the girls are going to slide to your left in front of the boy. He is going to slide to his right behind you to wind up occupying your position. Okay? Let me give you a little body flow, and it helps a little bit. Everybody do a right and a left through. With a half sachet, girls slide, boys slide behind her. There, that's very good. And that, if there were a standard formation for a half sachet, that would probably be it, if there was one. Unfortunately, there's not. Touch a quarter. Boy run around the girl. Naturally, if it felt good from there, it would feel good from here. Because what we're using, our formation that we're using, okay, the formation we would use is what? Facing dancers, and the arrangement would be boy-girl, quote, normal arrangement. Okay? Anytime we deviate from either one of those is when you're going to get in trouble. Do a right and a left through with a half sachet. Perfect. Now, the next train of thought would be to take the half sachet and let's change the arrangement. Now our arrangement has changed. If I called half sachet now, naturally the boys would be the ones going in the front, the girls would be going in the back. Everybody half sachet. Perfect. Then it stands to reason that the next train of thought would be to put same sexes together and along that line. But let me give you something else as food for thought. Everybody start through. One of the questions we as callers need to come up with when we're trying to work up material is, what would happen if I called this, what would happen? Well, what would happen if I did half of a half sachet? I mean, okay, if a full half sachet, they wind up side by side, then it stands to reason that half of that would put them single file. So everybody do a right and a left through, and everybody do half of a half sachet. Look at this. This is just the neatest thing. Now we can do so much neat stuff. Double pass through. Perfect. Girls half sachet. Cloverleaf. Girls square through three, boys half sachet. Once. And a half. Ooh. Girls make an arch. With the two boys dive through. Both boys go under. Go. Perfect. Now boys, lead Dixie style. Is that standard or not? Girls half sachet. Boy left hinge. Boy walk and dodge. Now we've normalized it. That dive through involves a partner trade, girls. Well, I can't. There you go. Now did you girls half sachet for me? Did you do it already? Okay. Start through. Can you see? But can you see where you can go with this now? Okay? And all you have to do is change either the formation or the arrangement. Half sachet being the exception because there is no formation for it. Girls trade. Okay. Couples circulate. Pick another one while we're on a roll here. Slide through. Okay. You want find slide through? You can do slide through. You guys want?
All right. Page 15.
Go. Need a microphone.
Half of a half is a quarter. That would be a quarter sachet.
No, the call is called half sachet.
This ends the front side of the cassette. Please turn it over and begin again.
Houston.
Oh, the comment was half of a half sachet should be a quarter sachet. That is not true because the name of the call is half sachet. It's not half of a sachet. The name of the call is half sachet, so we would be truly doing half of it. Okay? Yeah, yes, sir. You need a microphone.
What's a full sachet?
Don't know that there is one.
Most callers are full.
Okay.
That was Galen Sauvé from Seattle, Washington.
A lateral do-si-do. Oh. Bend the line. All right. We're going to do slide through. Did you find it?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Slide through. Extended application says from 8-chain through, normal setup, facing lines, normal setup, static square, normal setup, double pass-through, normal setup, trade by, any arrangement with centers facing opposite sex. So I would presume that they want it to be normal there as well. The comments on each one from an 8-chain through and facing lines may cause significant breakdown if ending formation leaves dancers facing out, and they stay that way for the next move. What it says on static square, this call is directed to heads or sides, and the comments for double pass-through and trade by arrangements being any arrangement with centers facing opposite sex. These applications occur far less often than those above, but they seldom pose problems. Okay, so that's what the book says. Slide through, that would be standard. Slide through, that would be standard. Star through, centers California twirl, veer right, bend the line, static square, head slide through, that would be standard. Centers slide through, that would be standard. Back away, static square, side slide through would be standard. Pass through twice. And if you can slide through, that would be standard. If you're facing out trade, the centers slide through, that would be standard. And I believe that was all the standards. Okay? Have not done it half sachet. Okay? Let's have the centers pass through. Everybody half sachet. And now we're getting into the borderline area. This is where the dancers need help. If you're going to call up from here, make sure that they understand that the girl turns left and that the boy turns right. We do it so much from normal setups. So be real careful if you start walking into this type setup. Although it gives you a lot of nice choreography. Slide through is a great call. Slide through. Good. Partner trade. Right and left through. And let's see if we can add some of these together. Do a half sachet, once and a half. Boys turn through. Everybody slide through. If you can get your dancers to understand the real rule on slide through, it opens up so many doors for you choreographically. Tag the line. Clover leaf. Girls slide through. They'll all turn left and they'll have a left-hand box there, won't they? All right. Girls walk and dodge. Girls clover leaf. Boys left turn through. Slide through. Girls scoot back. Boys circulate. Boys zoom. Chain down the line. See, we've started to tie all this choreography together. If this was a dance, all these people have learned these tools. Maybe not all of them right away, but you present them a few of these tricks in the beginning. You add to it the second tip, third tip. Just sprinkle it in here and there. And by the end of halfway through the dance, you've got these people at a whole new dimension in their recreation. You got them doing things that they've never seen, they've never done. And with a little bit of presentation skills is all it takes. Pass through. Wheel and deal. Centers, make a U-turn back. Slide through. Boys, make sure you turn right now. Girls, turn left. Boys, you got a right hand. Girls, you have a left hand. Sometimes you'll have to help them until they get onto it. But if it's presented the right way, they'll love it. If you present it the wrong way, dancers are going to throw tomatoes at you. All 8 circulate. Everybody hinge. Centers trade. All cast off 3/4. Right and left through. Half sachet, once and a half. Boys turn through. Slide through. Bend the line. Pass through. Wheel and deal. Half sachet in the center. Face in, back out, and you're home. Okay. Let's just take a short break, you guys. We've had it up for a long time. Give them a nice hand. Thank you so much. How much time do we have? We go to what? Any calls in particular? Anybody would like to investigate?
Now, yeah, and also before, one of the things that perhaps we're not stressing enough, Jerry's brushed it a couple of times, is when he talks about presentation. Now, this isn't kind of stuff that you're just going to be able to go to your club Friday night, and if you have never in your life to your club called half sachet, once and a half, you can't just go there and call it and expect the dancers to do it. 2 things have to happen. You're going to have to go home, and you're going to have to learn how to do the call, because you're going to have to learn little tricks to help them. You're going to have to learn what kind of helping words to use, where is a good way to set this thing up, what's a good call to come before it to help them get it, what's a good call to come after it so they don't break down. Randy mentioned that earlier. Preceding calls are very important to the call that you want to feature. Also the call that you use immediately after it. If you ever wonder sometimes why some callers can call the same thing that other callers call and they break down with one guy and they don't break down with the other, it's not the material, it's the way the guy presented it, or the girl. The way the person, it's the way the caller or calleress, it's the way the caller presented the material. That's as important as the material. I say a lot of times, it's as important how you call as to what you call. And the big problem is so much with us, it's not what we call it, it's how we're calling it that gets us in a lot of trouble. Is there a call that you guys, rather than just throw calls at us from out of left field, is there a call that you guys would like to look at, or do you have a unique way of doing something that we haven't shown? Or, and I've seen you dance, so I'm assuming that your calling is a lot better. and your name, sir, after that?
Thank you, Tony. Bill Horse, right here in Los Angeles. I'll call walk and dodge from couples facing. I'll have the girl walk and the boy dodge. Yeah, and an easy way you're talking about presentation and getting the flow into doing that, so called right and left through to precede it, because then the girl is already walking forward and she can just go straight ahead on a walk and dodge.
And that would not be standard. Okay? Why would walk and dodge from facing, and there's argument. as to how that call was actually done from there. There's controversy as to actually how you walk and dodge from that setup. Some people would tell you that if you had lines of 4 facing and you called walk and dodge, you would pass through. Some people will say that the girl walks and the boy dodges. Just so that, unless the caller says girl walk. Yeah. Okay.
Can we get another square?
Yeah, you want to do another call and we'll just tear one apart?
Yeah, we can show that too.
Yeah. Well, the whole concept is not for us to show off our creativity here. The whole point is that, and we won't touch nearly all the calls. The whole point we want to get through here is that if you're going to feature a call or do a call, there is the standard, the methods that's described in the standard applications booklet will show you the way you can expect the most dancer success doing it. Now, when you expand upon and get away from that standard formation or that standard arrangement, then you have to prepare. That's the whole thing. You can take any call on this mainstream program here, and this, guys, really, this is such a great program. I can't believe I hear guys wanting to throw calls off of it. It's good. I use all the calls. If you want to see dancers hesitate, watch the dancers hesitate on calls that we don't use. And then we want to get rid of them because of our shortcomings. Let's get rid of cross trail through because I don't use it. The reason I don't use it is because I don't know how to do it. The reason dancers don't do fan the top is we don't know how to do it. The reason that there's no standard formation for half sachet is because we as callers don't know how to do it. Now that's the bottom line, guys. Because if you knew how to do it, we would do it. Let's work fan the top. We can work fan the top. Get us a square.
Do we have a square?
Fan the top. What? Fan the top's on the plus list. What am I saying? No, fan. Why didn't you tell me that, Dennis? I'm just listening to Dennis. Thank you very much. We'll work fan the top. Now, the first thing you want to do is look up the definition for it. You want to know the definition of the call, so we should have a copy of CALLERLAB's definition so that we know how to do the call. And then we look at the standard applications booklet and we find out where can I expect the most dancer success from. And Jerry, that is from where?
We're going to tell you right now.
Oh, I thought we found it already.
Right hand parallel ocean waves. Boys on end, girls in center. We all knew that, didn't we?
Yeah.
We already knew.
But there's a comment about it.
The comment. Let me see if I can read it to you. This is rarely a safe call because centers who must start the action with left hands when it is called from right hand waves must resist their natural tendency to start all calls with the right hand. Best success with this call is after a call where centers have just used their right hands, as in the series single hinge, girls, boys, or centers fan the top.
So with that in mind, let's look at what that's saying. Let's have the heads step in, face your corner. Now what it's saying is it would be bad, or we couldn't expect a lot of success if I said, step to a wave and fan the top. Now that would be the standard formation for the call. But notice that the call preceding it didn't help us any. So the little note here says, well, if you want to help yourself, you might call it after a call such as single hinge or something. So let's do that. Touch your quarter. Scoot back. That's standard. Now, we're going to do the call single hinge, and I'm going to help them. Okay? Everybody do a single hinge. Girls start fan the top. Just that little hint to get them in tidal way. There you go. Everybody step through. Partner trade. All right, now now I'll show you another way that varies from the standard formation, but I usually get a lot of success with it. Pass through. Tag the line. Face in. Now, I have half sashayed lines of 4. The tendency, what happens is we don't want to use the correct hand to do fan the top. We want to do something like spin the top and start with our right hand. If you take that away from them, box the net. Fan the top, girls with the left. Because you tie up their right hand, they can't use it. Swing through. I would not want to call a fan the top now because, number one, it's not a standard formation, and number two, I've just called a swing through. The boys have traded, and then it'll be casting 3/4, and that'd be, say, 2/4 and 3/4 is it's too many. Okay? Boy run around the girl. All right, now, so all we got to do to take this thing away from the standard applications now is we either alter the formation or the arrangement. Okay, and the arrangement says, let's see, 0 wave, boys on the ends and the girls in the center. So an easy way to alter this, bend the line, do a right and a left through with a half sachet, pass the ocean. Now, I've altered the formation. I've altered the arrangement now. I now have the boys in the middle. The formation's still the same. It's a parallel right-hand ocean wave. But I've altered the arrangement. Consequently, now, this is non-standard. Okay? We know that the boys would cast 3 and then okay. Boy run around the girl. Now, that's one way. We can alter the arrangement. We can also alter the formation. Okay? Couples circulate. Now, what would happen if I call fan the top from here? I have altered the formation because it says I start from parallel right-hand ocean waves. So now I'm altering the formation. Okay? But the rule says that the centers do what? And the ends do what? Now I could probably do it from here. It's admittedly, this is a little gimmicky. This borders on gimmicky. But it's there. Ferris wheel. I'll show you one that I've used with like really competent dancers and it hurts them. Centers start through. Okay, now notice that I want to notice too that fan the top is neither right nor left-hand oriented. So I can also do it from a left-handed ocean wave, and it would still be called fan the top. It would not be called left fan the top. Okay? If I wanted them to start with the left hand, I could say head starting with the left.
I don't think you want to go here.
No, I would have to do sides. I've seen that start. Let's talk about it. Let's have the head step in, face your corner. Slide through. Now, if I wanted these people to step into a left-handed ocean wave and starting with their right hand to do a fan the top, I wouldn't want to say all of that, so I could help them a little bit, and I could say, we're going to do a left fan the top, but boys, that means you're going to start with which hand? The right hand.
You call that helping?
In your case?
You don't want to go here.
Okay? That's a way to work around it. The whole point is you want to vary either the formation or the arrangement. That makes it non-standard. Now that one's tough. I don't know if you guys want to do it or not. Okay. Okay, do a right and a left through. That's okay. Dixie style to a wave. Don't go yet, but fan the top right after. Go ahead and do Dixie style. I just don't do the next call. Fan the top after a Dixie style is really smooth, but it's starting with the right hand, boys. It feels weird, okay? Because we've changed the formation. We've changed it from a right-handed wave to a left-handed wave. But the call is still fan the top, even though it's from a left-handed setup. And the boys are casting with their right hand. Fan the top, boys cast. Perfect. Step through, trade, partner. Now, if I wanted these people to start with the right hand, boys, I've got to figure out some way of explaining to these people to step to a left-handed wave. I could tell them step to a left-handed wave and fan the top, which would accomplish the same thing. But like I say, the bottom line is we're changing the formation or the arrangement to make them non-standard. Okay? Pick a call. Seesaw. Your turn. I'll look it up.
Somebody asked if we do some the cross family, because we're talking about, once again, calls that...
They did that so well earlier, too.
We all know the calls that dancers have trouble with. Cross runs, cross folds, runs, really, in general. Then they're just great workshop calls, I'll guarantee you that.
We got a question here.
Yeah, what?
Back to your fan the top, I've had higher success right after I pass the ocean on a fan the top also.
The only problem, just a little bit of an overflow. You know, it'd be like a 1 1/4, but, you know, not bad. Yeah, seesaw is just a left shoulder do-si-do, so I don't know what else we can do with that.
How about seesaw 1 1/4 and fan the top?
Yeah. You can fractionalize it, for sure.
Don't look at me.
You can seesaw 3/4 in the center's sachet nose to nose and 2 phase line. We'll do that. Everybody star through for me. I really have a problem with 2 definitions to the same call, though. Personally, so I think that's probably why nobody uses this. I do use it, but I call it a left do-si-do because I don't care what anybody says. That's what it is. We don't need 2 definitions in the same call. Anyway, do a left do-si-do 3/4. And the girls sashay nose to nose. There's the nose. All right. Nobody, you know,
they were going to tush to tush.
Bend the line. You know, a lot of people will say, hey, you can't do that. That goes against the rule of half sashay. You know, as long as you tell them what you want them to do and they do it, there's really no big deal there. You know, to be politically correct, I guess you would say, do your part of half sashay nose to nose or whatever. You know, but if you just tell them sashay nose to nose, they're going to do it. It's a tool you can use. You don't have to use the term slither, but you can sure get away with it, especially if you've been working half sashay with them a little bit. Let's pass the ocean. On this cross run thing, nobody uses cross runs with the ends doing the cross running, and it's a great call. It really is. Boys cross run, girls let them in. Girls cross run, boys let them in. It's a wonderful call. Nobody uses it. Swing through. Oh, let's see. All 8 circulate. Girls circulate. All right. Girls trade and the boys trade. So what I've got here is an out-of-sequence setup with their partners. I think you all got your partner, don't you? Is that your partner? Okay. And they're out of sequence. So this is a nice little get out if you want to write it down. If you go home and you say, I'm going to use them cross runs. After you practice it with them, so you can ensure that when you do your get out, that 100% of them's going to get it, so you'll be a success. You run them through a few cross runs with the girl going to the center, the boy going to the center. Then you come back with this get out. Girls cross run, boys let them in. Boys cross run, girls let them in. Grand right and left. And it's a nice get out. I think that's who you started with, wasn't it? I think it's right there. Okay, good. So another great tool if you can work your dancers through that, and it doesn't take really that much presentation skills, but it just takes the thinking about it to go into a dance and call it, and not let the dancers intimidate you. You know, if they say, well, I don't like that. Maybe it was because you had bad presentation skills, because they really should like it if it's presented right to them. Let me show you some other things you can do with cross-fold. Somebody asked about that. Head star through. Okay, do a double pass-through. Put centers in, and the girls partner trade, and the couples circulate. Let's start from here. And these aren't hard to do. If I want the girls to cross-fold from here, all I got to do is tell them where I want them to go first. I want the center girl to go look at the end boy's back, and I want the end girl to go look at the center boy's back. Girls cross-fold. Everybody do your part of a double pass-through. Just go all the way through, nobody. Everybody to your right, do a half tag. Right, darling. Right, honey. There you go. And you got a two-face line back. Bend the line. Let's do that again. Pass through. Wheel and deal. The outside squeeze in. We don't need the term spread, do we? It's just as nice to say that. Pass through. Girls, do a partner trade. Boys, I'm going to ask you to do the cross fold this time. The center boy, go look at the end girl's back. The end boy, come look at the center girl's back. Go, boys. Everybody do your part of a double pass through. Go all the way through, nobody. Girls, do a U-turn back. Star through. Extend. The things you can do with basics. Those are the calls we're really working hard to get callers to get back to in this activity. Bend the line. Let's try something else with it. Yeah, that's about enough. I think you get the idea of it anyway. Anything else? Any other calls?
Now, that would not nearly be what you would figure standard applications for fold or cross fold.
No.
But it's something to look at. You're sort of limited if you look at the standard applications. You're really limited as to where you can call it from. So anywhere you go off of that is pretty much non-standard, and that's good. But you can just, it's just great material on this program if we looked for them.
We're not saying that dancers need to learn how to do this on command. They don't have to know how to do it. All they have to do is enjoy it that night when you present it to them.
And the problem
and then they can forget it. It's like teaching them a new call, but it ain't a new call.
But we don't know how to do these. We don't spend the time. We would rather to entertain these people, since they're dancing well, And rather than go back in our bag of tricks and pick out something, we in turn call something off of the next program. You know, we go to Plus or A1 or something to keep these people entertained. So these people that are dancing great mainstream, we don't keep them entertained here because we don't use the programs. We let them going up the level ladder, and then we lose them. Then they're gone. Anyway, it's about 1:15. We got to be out of here by 3.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you're released.
Thank you. Give him a nice hand. We appreciate you guys. Thank you.
You guys are real good at this, and some of us are not quite so good at it. But how much do you know how to feed in one evening? You've worked 12 calls, or not that many, in 45 minutes. You couldn't get away with that at a dance, could you?
That would be the judgment of each individual caller and the competency of the floor that he's calling for. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna take them as high as I can. You can bet. I mean, I'm going to try to get them to dance the dance that I want them to dance. And if it's all those tricks right there, I don't think I'd show them all in one night. However, at a weekend where you've got a workshop in the morning and you've got a workshop at night, you got plenty of time for all that we've done today. And then by Saturday night, these people are doing things that they've never done in their life. And they really, it feels good to them not to have to memorize a fancy name to a call. It's calls they already know. The other good things about it, when other dancers hear the same calls, that intrigues them, you know. Hey, we should be able to do that too. You know, instead of hearing relay your wing ding, they're hearing cross run. But they're seeing it done and applied from different arrangements. And it just makes for a healthier activity when we can get back to that type of choreography.
Did you see the looks on the dancers' faces, even the callers then, when Jerry was calling center boys left turn through to a slide through? When's the last time at your home program or at your dance that you called boys left turn through and everybody slide through? That's just great stuff. Once again, now, if you're not accustomed to this, do it in moderation because you have to learn it as well. So in answer to your question, you need to take the extended applications in small steps, especially if your dancers aren't accustomed to it. You're going to have to spoon feed it to them in small steps. Otherwise, you're going to hurt them, and they're going to break down, and they're not going to be happy. The object is not to break them down. The object is not to challenge them. Our object is to stimulate them and interest them, not to challenge them.
That's something I wanted to say, too. Some people, they take this really the wrong way. They look at this as taking something that's simple and let's make it hard. Let's see how hard we can make this thing. That's the wrong way to look at it. The right way to look at it is take something that's really hard and make it easy. And if you can do that, you're going to be a success in this business, I guarantee you.
Any questions?
Thank you. Alex Stevens from Christchurch, New Zealand. I went to the presentation these gentlemen had before about the problems of square dancing and heard a lot of good stuff. And to me, the answer lies in what we're looking at the moment. I think that perhaps 50% plus of all square dancers worldwide should be dancing the mainstream program. That is, they don't realize there is life beyond recycle. Now, somebody in the earlier session had said there are recreational dancers and there are hobby dancers. I believe there's room in the world for both. The hobby dancers should be able to channel off into this higher stuff. To lead on from that, what I would like to, because I can hear solutions to problems coming out, but we have to put it into reality. What I'd like to see is for these clever gentlemen in the CALLERLAB to perhaps produce some form of notes for callers, some sort of note service of extended use of the mainstream basic program that can either be purchased or just circulated, so that those of us who are trying to work the mainstream program but don't have the choreographic ability to make it as interesting as this, can have some basis to work from. And if we do that, that'll make us better callers, we'll get better dancers, and the whole lot will want to stay from recycle down. So that's what I'd like to see CALLERLAB do.
All right.
We would too.
Yeah. We have a question?
Just a comment. I'm a little concerned. This was entitled Using Standard Applications, and yet we've looked at a lot of the extended ways here. Is that correct, Jerry?
It was standard versus extended.
Okay, versus. I'm worried that if we did what Alex was talking about, we're going to turn a lot of callers loose with a lot of ammunition without the presentation type skills that you and Tony have or have demonstrated.
That's why, but that's okay. It gives us all something that we can work towards achieving. And if you can't apply extended applications, then, like I've said for a long, long time, then you shouldn't be calling higher levels.
I agree.
You should be calling for clubs and teaching classes. You shouldn't have plus classes and A1 classes.
I agree with that totally, Jerry. But the problem is going to be, if you try to force your dance that you want to do on the recreational dancer, they're not going to enjoy that, Jerry. To me, I don't think...
Who is saying that, Randy? I've never heard anybody say that it was going to be forced on the recreational dancer.
But I'm saying if we do those kinds of dances at recreational dances, the people only dance once a month. I don't think...
A little bit of it would probably go a long ways, but you still have to have it in your arsenal.
Yeah, but what I'm worried about is that we get back to the situation where the callers in our CALLERLAB organization did not understand what it meant to do DBD, dancing by the definition. They took that interpretation back home to their clubs, and they thought that would show them every possible position. And it just meant show them what the definition says in the book, which is what you guys have been doing. You've been quoting it right out of the book. I'm concerned that we get these guys go back home and we're going to run off our once-a-month dancers, the mainstreamers that we have. Those people that are dancing either the basics or mainstream, you know, where do we put the extended applications in it? Just like you said, it's almost like 3 levels within one. We have the basics, and then we have the standard applications of those, and then we have the extended applications of those. So it's almost like 2 levels within one. Correct?
Basically, you have to have the judgmental skills about you to realize that if your dancers are getting bored, that you can always use extended applications. It's at your disposal at any time to go off into that direction, pull out a little bit of it, and call it for your dancers when they start getting a little bit bored. And at the same time, it can control a lot of other factors. It can control the rushing through levels. But we have to take it upon ourselves to learn it and learn when to use it and when not to use it. I think standard application for the first 2 levels of square dancing is apropos. That's what everybody else dances. You can't go out to a festival and call that kind of stuff. If I'm doing just a Saturday night festival or something, I can't get away calling that stuff. I might throw in a little bit of it just to give myself some extra tools that I can use to entertain that floor that night. And they're going to do that for me, but you have to be careful. You can't go over showing them too much. I think you just, maybe I'm wrong, but I think I give callers more credit to have better judgment and know when to use stuff like that and when not to. But maybe you know something I don't. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll get the mic over. We have another question from the floor. This is so that there's not dead time on the tape. That's terrible.
Actually, it isn't a question. It's what I think I've understood. I'm Laura Nystrom from San Jose, caller's partner. And what I thought I understood Jerry and Tony saying, and I think what Randy's concern was, is that your goal is to make sure your dancers dance for success. And
correct.
Yours might not that way, and yours might some other way. And that's where you're calling on your caller's judgment.
Exactly.
I think what we're doing is we're not offering to suggest that everybody goes out and starts doing this. If you're comfortable calling standard applications and your group is comfortable, by all means, stay with that. What we're proposing, I think, perhaps, is that instead of taking your group up to the next level, let's do 2 things at one time. Let's make the dancers better dancers, and let's make you a better caller at the same time. And let's learn to use some of the calls from something other than standard formations and arrangements. That will help both you and help your dancers. Because what we've created over the years, we callers over the last 10, 15 years have lost a lot of our skills. We've come to rely on complex calls to make our material interesting. We no longer use judgment. We no longer use our skills. When we're having trouble, if the floor is struggling with your material, then okay, I'll just throw in a relay your wingding or relay your doocy. That evens out the floor. We don't use the tools that we used to use in order to keep the floor dancing all the time. And that's essentially what this is all about. We're trying to offer you a new set of tools. You know, here's some tools that we haven't been using. We've got the publication for it. You've got a book for it. And you got a book that gives you every standard formation, standard application for every call in that mainstream program. Anything away from that is non-standard. That's got to help your calling somewhere. That's our point. Jerry, you got any final ones? It's about 5 of. We got a beverage break at 3. Thank you guys for coming.
We really do appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you.